was having a bad day. And I think we're always trying to bring ourselves back into balance. And so I was exhausted from homeschooling. I was exhausted from the news on the media. Like everything felt like it was falling apart. And then I looked at this book and I saw this lady set a world record for doing something in the Alps. And I'm like, you know what? If I could set a world record, then I could bring us out of this despair and into a place of hope and opportunity. And so what would that look like, right? Like that, like I just felt like we needed momentum on the other side to bring us back to balance. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just know like that was a feeling that I had. I also had a feeling where I have children. My children don't like to read regular books. I wish they did. They didn't, but they love to read Guinness World Record books. Who had the longest fingernails, who grew the biggest pumpkin, how many hot dogs somebody ate in a minute. Like that was exciting to them, right? So for me, I'm like, oh, it would be so fun to be in a book that my children love to read. Like it just felt like a full circle moment. So like it was just this combination of feelings, thoughts, experiences that came together, and it started as like silly concepts. And then it became real because I allowed it to. I leaned into it.
Wow. Not only that they read the Guinness book, but now they have their moms on the list also, right? And it's becoming something that they will be so proud to carry for the rest of their lives. And it becoming the seed of something that inspiring them to do for their own. Maybe one day they will each will have their own names on that world record book. Who knows, right, Jen?
Right. Like here's the thing, like our kids are watching us.
Yes.
And so we need to demonstrate to them what a happy, fulfilled life looks like. Because when we demonstrate it to them, then they know it's possible for themselves. It might look different than mine because we're different people and have different skills and different experiences, but it's possible. It just has to show up for what's possible for them. So for me, it was very important to demonstrate, like, this got me excited. It got me like motivated. It required discipline and training and sacrifice and commitment. But when we combine all those things and achieve something, that feels so good. And I want them to have that feeling. And for them to have that feeling, they have to see how I have that feeling so that they can learn where they can find it for themselves.
So, Professor Kurt, how have you been growing your ability to think over the years?
Well, that is a difficult question. That is a very difficult question. I never thought about this. So, I think there are two things we have to differentiate. We have two systems in our brain. One is thinking deliberately, so conscious thought, and the other system is unconscious thought. We could also call it intuition. And I very much believe in intuition. Rely on your gut feelings. Because intuition is not a magical sixth sense. It's a very rapid, unconscious pattern recognition that comes with an emotion. So if you have enough experience in a field, very often you have an intuition which tells you this is what you should decide or what you should do, and you cannot really explain why. It's just a gut feeling. But this gut feeling is based on a lot of experience you have in a field. So many decisions I make are based on gut feeling, are based on intuition. And I learned to trust my intuition. But one important thing, rely only on your intuition if you have enough experience in this field. Because if you don't have enough experience, your mind is not able to recognize these patterns.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Well, this is where the neuroscience comes in really handy, because I have learned the different areas of my brain that I can use in better ways through the neuroscience. For example, I now know that if I take on too much and if there's too much stimulation, the stress curve and the impact on my goal direction, empathy, clarity, memory, all the executive functions from the prefrontal cortex, the more I take on, the more the capabilities will be impaired. So I have learned to stay in this zone of stimulation and stress to not go over the curve where it becomes so much that I can't think clearly anymore. So the neuroscience has really helped me understand my thinking and where it gets to be a challenge and why. And I think that is the incredible benefit of learning how the brain works, because it is we suddenly begin to understand why we do the things we do and why some of the things work and why some of the things don't work, because it is related to neuroscience.
Wow, wow.
And so, so I've learned to not overstimulate myself so that I don't lose, my executive function capabilities. But I've also learned that, I can't keep everything in here. And so, there's another sort of researcher, her name is Annie Murphy Paul. If you get a chance to get her book, The Extended Mind, The Extended Mind, Annie Murphy Paul.
Okay.
It's a very, very good book that helps us understand that in modern times, our brain can't keep that stuff in here anymore. We've just way overextended our capabilities to think clearly. And so the extended mind is the philosophy that we need to offload what's in here into other areas. And so having a to-do list, a vision board, a whiteboard where you can move things around, things that become visual, help us offload what's in here in terms of thoughts.
Wow.
And frees up space. So I have learned to offload so that I only keep in here what I need in this moment.
Wow. And that will happen.
So that I don't get distracted about the next thing. And it's like that's offloaded already. The next thing is offloaded. It's already in a file. It's on my calendar. It's on my to-do list, on a sticky note. It's in a reminder. So that's already handled. So my brain doesn't have to hold that now in here while I'm talking to you.
Wow. Thank you so much.
So that book is mind-blowing. It's fabulous. It's extremely well written. Lots of stories, and not sort of so scientific that, she lose the reader, but I can highly recommend it.
Absolutely. Annie Murphy Paul. Right, and the book
Annie Murphy Paul.
And the
yes,
book, The Extended Mind.
The Extended Mind.
I will
yes.
definitely look forward to that book, and I also look forward to contact her and send your message to her. You were the one who introduced me to the.
Yes,
to her
you
works.
can tell her that. You can tell her there's a fan club out there in the coaching world that she might not be aware of, and we love her work and her research, and we use it all the time in coaching. So. Wow. If you get to talk to her, you can say there's a big group of people out there that love your work.
Wisdom to me is knowing that you don't know, right? Understanding that you don't know everything. And wisdom comes from listening to other people, listening to what they really say, and being in tune with who they are. And wisdom comes from your life experiences, you know. But you don't have to experience everything to. You don't have to have somebody. You don't have to have somebody tell you don't touch the stove if you can see the stove is hot, you know. But wisdom comes from learning to listen to people when they say, Howard, the stove might be hot, be careful. And so wisdom is living a life full of curiosity, willing to learn, willing to grow, and understanding that you don't have all the answers.